right, we are here with the head coach of the Frankston Indians, Coach Paul Gould. Coach, how are you doing this morning?
Man, I'm doing good. How about yourself?
I cannot complain. I cannot complain. Let's talk a little bit about last season. The Indians, 8-4 overall record, made it to the area round of the playoffs. Now, I was going through the schedule last year and just kind of looking. The losses to Joaquin went to the fifth round, won 10 games. Scurry Rosser won 10 games and went to the second round. And Mildred in your district won 12 games and went to the
Uh-huh.
third round. So, very good teams that those losses were to. But just tell me a little bit about last season and what you thought about it.
Going into the year, we weren't quite sure, what kind of team we had. We knew we had a lot of returning guys, guys that had played since they were freshmen, sophomores, a pretty good senior class, good leaders in that class. We got out there against Joaquin first game of the year. I think Coach Jones wasn't quite sure what kind of team he had either. And man, it was a back and forth track meet, just about what it turned into. And they come away with the win and that kind of kicked the season off. Played Grapeland a couple of weeks later. I think Grapeland ended up going to the quarterfinals last year or something, and we come away with a victory in that one. So, and we knew they were a good football team, so we felt pretty good. Had Scurry Rosser right there before we go into district, and that was a back and forth. I think ended up losing by 8. But we knew Scurry was really good, so felt pretty good going into district. We lost some kids early. Some of our seniors through injury, a couple of them for the season. So we had to had to adjust a little bit. Had to have some kids step up, and they did a real good job. Get into district, and Mildred kind of put it to us right after off the start. But we found ourselves after that, and were able to come out, I think, second in the district. Played Italy first round of the playoffs, and I felt like Italy was a real good football team. Had a real good game against them, in the playoffs, and then played a real tough Hamilton team who I think ended up going to the quarters or semis as well. And it was 14-14 at halftime. We come out the second half, and they were able to score a couple times, and we kind of shot ourselves in the foot a few times. And you get to that point in the playoffs, a few mistakes, they kind of cost you the game. So felt like we had a pretty good season. Not really where we wanted to go, but it was a good season, and I was proud of our kiddos. But we learned a lot. Like I said, we had some kids go down and had to have some young kids step up, and they did. So we feel like just them getting some time and seeing what they were able to do. We'll see how that kind of springboards us into this year.
Well, sure, that's got to give you some confidence too, right? Playing well against those teams and all that. Now, I remember when we talked last year, it was about realignment, and you made the comment you have no clue about this district because you hadn't played a lot of these teams. So now that you've had a year in the district, what are your thoughts on the district now looking back at it?
I think it's a real competitive district. I felt like just about every team every week could beat the other one. Carlisle, I believe, was fifth in our district. They had, I mean, we beat them by 7, scored right there at the end to beat them. They got beat by Cayuga right there at the end in their ball game. I felt like everybody in our district could kind of beat each other, and that held true going through the play or going into the playoffs. Just how our district fell. Any week could have went to either team. It's just who made the less mistakes every week, and I really feel like that's going to hold true again this year. I feel like our district's pretty competitive, and it showed when we got in the playoffs. I think 3 of the 4 teams in our district won their first round playoff game. So yeah, I feel like we have a really competitive district, and I'm looking for it to be a pretty good one this year too.
Yeah, it's gonna every game matters, right? Those district
Absolutely.
games are even magnified even more. So let's talk a little bit about this year. You got 8 starters coming back on offense, 7 coming back on defense. Like you said, made a good run last year. You went 2 years ago, made it to the by-district round. Last year, made it to area. So kind of improving each year. But what are your expectations and thoughts going into this season?
We have high expectations. Again, we have a lot of kids back. I think we're going to go into this year with 14 seniors. That's a big class for 2A, especially for Frankston here. I think the most seniors we've had on a team before that was 9. So 14 seniors is big. We're going to have to lean on those guys. We've got a lot of skill kids back. We went to the state track meet last year with all three of our relays, and every one of those kids are back except for one. So, we're expecting skill wise to be pretty good. We're going to have some guys on the line step up. Depth wise, we're pretty thin on both sides of the ball on the lines. But it's 2A, and that's how it goes. Everybody has to step up and do something. And I expect our kids to rise to the challenge and do exactly that.
All right, Coach. Well, thank you so much for taking the time and talking to us this morning. And best of luck to the Indians this season. And we'll talk to you down the road.
Yes, sir. Sounds good. I appreciate it.
All right. Thank you so much, Coach.